All righty. It is February the 9th, 2022. And we got some of the most baddest, awesome real estate agents on the planet. And we're learning about how to grow our businesses and take agent attraction to the next level. So with that being said, who got some good news they want to go ahead and share with the group?
I got something. Not big news, but I started working LinkedIn last week. I came up with a script that I felt pretty good with, and it's resulted in I had 2 book calls for next week, and just 2 people wanting me to send them more information so far. So we'll see how it goes.
Good, man. Definitely good news.
Yeah, great job on that, David. Taking action on that. Good job, man.
Yeah, but I'm dipping my feet in. I'm starting with LinkedIn because I haven't really reached out to people in my community yet. It's kind of like, I know that's what I got to do. It's just, it's a small community up here, and I know I need to just go after it, but I'm just going with the out of town people right now and working my way. I feel like I'll have my script and I'll have everything ready to go by the time I get to the people in my community.
Well, don't wait too long to talk to your people in your community, because somebody else is going to, and they'll say, man, somebody reached out to me a few weeks or months ago, and we've been looking at it. So don't wait too long.
Has anyone? No, definitely. Has anyone experienced this? My smaller community there's been a real eXp kind of pushback, and I got my first ever write-up as like a fine against me. And it was for something very silly that everyone does. I didn't have, we're supposed to put coming soon to realtor.ca, but I didn't have the to realtor.ca on one of my signs. And then the person at the board says, yeah, everyone's paying attention to eXp people. And there's been a few of us that just got fined for doing stuff that everybody's doing. I don't know. I feel like we need a couple of mega agents to come over. So because I don't know, there's still a lot of stigma right now.
You're underneath the microscope, David.
Yeah.
When you're underneath the microscope, that's the time to really shine, because everyone's watching you anyway.
Yeah, and I'm doing my podcast, and I'm doing some other things. So I'm the only one waving a flag right now. So I've been getting a little bit of slack, but yeah, I'm going to push through it. Thank you. That helps.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that, David. Anybody else got some good news they want to share?
I got my first person on my line and the agent attraction thing.
So Kathy, that's what I'm talking about. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How were you able to get them?
I came into real estate through Fortune Builders. Some of you might be familiar with them. And this was one of the people that I had met during that time. So he had told me he just recently got a new license, and I reached out to him, said he was looking for a place to hang it.
Awesome.
So just started from there.
Congratulations. Doing the work. Doing the work. All right. Anybody else with some good news they want to share?
I had a question. Sorry, all right. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I had a question if you guys could share maybe some script. I've been with eXp for 3 months now. I did pretty good with, I have 9 that I brought over, and I'm waiting for at least 4 or 5 to give me the decision. So that's going well, but the people that I've been sponsoring, trying to teach them with eXp how we have a different culture, and it's pretty awesome because it's really agent for agent. So I'm trying to give them some, ammunition to see what we can, how I can help them maybe do some scripts, or maybe have something more planned when they're talking to agents. So that would be more than a question and good news, but yeah.
That's
Yep. we can certainly help you with that, Pascal. I've been meaning to call you because I've been seeing you bringing some of those people over. So great job.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're under Rick, right?
Yeah,
Rick's, yeah.
he's amazing.
We got tons of scripts for you guys. And get with me, later. Let's get together on a call and I can go through a lot of it with you
Okay.
on our Facebook page. Financial Freedom Forever Facebook page in our group, but we got a whole library there, but under agent builders, James, everyone under James and Dan, we got another Facebook page that you should have access to as well. And there's tons of scripts there as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Under agent builders is under files. You go on the agent builders, you go on the files, you'll see actually the scripts in there that we have. And then, Andre got them. But hey, congratulations on bringing those 9 over, dude. And you're asking the right questions. So, congratulations on that as well.
Yeah,
I got
it's
some
fine.
good news as well. I'm actually under Pascal and I just got my first.
Oh, I didn't even know you're on here, Sean.
What's going on, bro? I just got my first person to agree to come on to eXp with us. So his name's John. He's already an agent. So I'm pretty pumped to get him over to the revenue share program and get him signed up and whatnot. So that's my good news.
Hey, congrats, Sean.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. Anybody else with some good news they want to share?
I sponsored in Lance Forrest. He's not here right now, or he hasn't jumped on, but we've got someone. He actually did a 3-way with me. Did the presentation with me yesterday. Lance and him got on the call. We got on a Zoom, and it was amazing. We got through the presentation. He's ready to go. He's doing his application right now as we speak. We spoke this morning, and that's awesome for him because I brought Lance in, and this gives him my opportunity to share it with someone coming over from Realty One.
Man, congratulations on that. That's awesome. Good news. All right.
My good news, if I had one, would be that we switched, Andre worked with me to switch over from having them do the application to me doing the application with them on a Zoom. And so we've got 3 people this week. And I put a large portion of it down to that because I was losing people by sending them that Zoom link. I mean, losing people by sending them the eXp link.
Yep.
That's a good idea, Gina. That's really good.
Tell Andre that I stole it from him.
Yeah, I heard that from Beer on a conference online when we had the conferences online because of COVID. He mentioned that in a meeting, and I've been doing it ever since. So yeah, absolutely. You want to schedule a Zoom call, and you can. I've also noticed just recently, in the past, I would just send them, right as soon as we get on the call, I'll have it already ready and I'll email them my link so they can click on it, open it up. So it's fast and easy on my join link. Right. And then I just have them share the screen. I give them control of the screen and I just watch them fill it out. And if they have questions, I can just answer them. I've had a few people just a little technically challenged with being able to share a screen and just kind of crazy that they really had a hard time with it. So now we're asking people, hey, if you want, I can fill out the information for you and you can see it. They can see you filling it in and I'll just fill it in for you. Or would you rather me give you the screen and you can fill it out yourself? I'm happy to do it either way. And the people that are a little challenged with stuff, they'll say, yeah, man, that'd be great. Go ahead and fill it out. And you just ask them the questions and you just fill everything out for them. That's only maybe 10, 15%. But I learned that because somebody that was challenged and we're trying to get them just to share the screen. They just had issues and it was like an hour and a half to finally get that done. So if you ask them that ahead of time, the ones that need help will take advantage of that and it'll save you a lot of time.
That's worth its weight in gold. That's really good.
We haven't lost one person yet as far as when you schedule the appointment to do it. They normally pretty much show up unless it's an emergency. And the other thing, when you get to in the US, once you do step 6 of 6, it automatically rolls into the ICA, the independent contract agreement, right? In Canada, it doesn't. In Canada, there's 4 steps, and it doesn't roll into the ICA. It's got to go to the broker, and then somebody at the broker's office calls them, have a conversation, and then they email them, virtually or electronically, the ICA. But in the States, it automatically pops up, right? So when we get to that point, I just let the people know, say, hey, listen, this is the ICA. It's like 40, 50 pages. I want you to read it because it's going to give you some things, answer some questions that you never even thought of. Like, hey, when you have, if you have 5,000 or 50,000 a month worth of revenue share coming in, and the good Lord takes you home and you get hit by a bus, God forbid, what happens to that money that you worked for the last 5 or 10 years? It's going to explain to you that, you can name a beneficiary for that. And they got 12 months to get their license and join eXp. And most people never heard about that. And they're like, wow, that's a big deal. So you want them to read it because they figure out how agent centric the company is. But I also tell them at the same time is there's really nothing you can change. So if there's anything you're not really happy with, there's 74,000 agents have signed it. You're probably not going to change it for you. But if you have any questions, definitely we'll get them answered by us. And if I can't answer them, I can get compliance on the phone. And I've had to do that before with somebody that had, 37 questions highlighted on the ICA, and the compliance guy was great, and he just answered every single one. That only happens, once in a blue moon. But by just telling them, hey, if we just click here on the top right, click, you can put your name and initial everywhere. You got to put your banking information in there and submit it. Then it's going to go to the company, and that's when it starts. That they'll check your license, and then you'll get an email back saying, congratulations, you're approved, and now you're ready to transfer your listings and your license. But if you explain to them if you do that now, especially if you're anywhere from 30 days from joining, you made a decision, you're going to join. It's just a matter of when, and it's less than 30 days. I suggest go ahead and do that because it takes a little bit of time. There's 1,000 people joining eXp, a week. So once you get that stuff out of the way, get all your questions answered, then when you're ready on that exact date to make the move, you just let eXp know or me know, and we'll get the license transferred. I'd rather be waiting. I want eXp to be waiting for you to pull the trigger. I don't want you to be waiting for eXp get your license over, because I've had people say, yeah, I'm going to do it and I'm going to join in 2 weeks, and they don't actually put the application in and sign anything until they're thinking a week before is what they're planning. But then 8 days before, they get a phone call from a friend that says, hey, I'm moving. I need you to come over to list my house tomorrow. And now automatically they're thinking, man, this new listing, I want to put it over eXp. I got to hurry up and do this. And now we're trying to hurry eXp to get through everything. You don't want that, because, if we're waiting on you, that's what you want. And if you explain it to them that way, it makes sense. The only thing that they're worried about is, hey, I don't want my license changed. I don't want my broker to know until I'm ready or whatever. And just let them know, hey, even when they sign the ICA and send it in, nothing happens until they personally move their license themselves, or depending in some states and provinces, the broker will do it, but you got to give permission, tell eXp, okay, I'm ready to move it, tomorrow, or I'm ready to move it myself, tomorrow. And until you do that, move it yourself or have, your broker move it, it's not going to happen. I had a friend that signed the ICA 3 times, because what happens if you don't do anything, that 30 days go by, you sign the ICA, but you don't tell anyone to move your license, then after 30 days, eXp says, oh, I guess they must have, changed their mind, and they just archive archive everything. Nothing happens. Absolutely nothing happens. I had a guy that made application 3 times, but never moved his license because life got in the way, and he never did it, and nothing happened until the day he was ready to actually move the license. And after 30 days, they just archive it, and then you got to start over again. So when you explain that to people, they're like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They're comfortable. Then I get probably 65, maybe 70% that will sign the ICA right online before reading it. And it's not, we want them to read it because they're going to be more in love with the company because they see how agent centric it is. But it's just a timing thing because how many agents will sit down for an hour and read the 40 pages? And it takes them weeks to do it. I mean, yeah, they'll do it, but it takes some of them days or weeks to do it. And then, you know, something else happens that slows them down. And it's been a big deal and it helps me. I hope that helps.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That is gold. Like Leon was saying earlier. Really what you're doing is you're taking back control of the situation rather than leaving it on somebody else to do it. So I always say, when I was given, at one point I was giving out business cards to people when I was talking to them, and then I'll sit back and I'll wait for them to call me. How many people you think actually called me? Not a lot. So what I started doing is I changed it up and I said, instead of giving my business card out, I'll still do that part, but I'll take their phone number. Now I'm in the driver's seat at that particular time and I'm able to reach out to that particular person and I'm in control. And that's basically what we're talking about here is being in control of the situation rather than just leaving it up for somebody else. So great, man. I love it. I love it. So, all right. What I wanted to do today, I just kind of wanted to ask him. Well, all right, Alan, you got your hand up.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
All right. Hey, I've been talking to a couple of brokers about moving over, and they have office leases or rent, or they own office space. How easy or how hard is it for a broker to come over and have like a branch office with an eXp? Is that a very common thing or uncommon thing?
Yeah, it's pretty common. I'll answer a little bit, James, and you can add to it as well. In most states, it's not an issue, and you just got to get approval. There's documents in the back office, expenterprise.com. Go on the Explore Guide, and I'm not sure exactly. You just have to look for it. But there's the information's in there, and it's they got to have insurance, they got to get approved and all that. If you're going to have a sign up, that you get the branch office, that's all going to be approved. In other states, in some states, it's just a matter of, like in Georgia, if you don't want a branch office, you don't want a sign out front, then you can just have it in your, in your office, and there's no sign out there. But in some states, New York is difficult because it's just a whole other animal. But it's possible if there's no Regises around. Because if there's a Regis close by or in their area in New York, and I think maybe Connecticut are the only two that I've heard about that's a challenge, that the state says, well, hey, you're a virtual company, then you should use the Regis offices and not your own space. But in other states, it hasn't been an issue. So we can certainly help you with that, Alan.
I know when you're filling out the app too, there's a box you check right as you're going through the application that says, I want to do a regional office, and it'll walk you through some steps right there also.
Okay. And the other one is, people who may have leases that are coming up to an end, if they want to have a virtual version of the office. Do you have to have a branch? Do you have to have a physical office space, or can they shed that and go virtual, but have a designated address that's the branch office in their location?
I'm not sure about that one. I know it's not a problem for them to have virtual office within eXp world. And I think it's only like, for an eXp agent, it's only like, I believe it's like $100, and you have that $100 a month, and you have access to like, don't quote me, it's 100 or 200, I forget, but you have access to like 100 people, up to 100 people if you're an eXp agent. And you have your own designated office space within the eXp world that you can decorate yourself with your stuff and all that kind of things. That's not a problem at all. You're on mute still, Alan, if you have another question.
I'll talk to the state brokers about the ones in Virginia, ones in Wisconsin.
Okay.
All right, great. So, what I want to do, I want to just kind of ask questions with some people as far as what they've been able to accomplish within the time that they've been at eXp regarding agent attraction. So I think a lot of times what we end up doing, we end up thinking that this thing is like real big and people are nervous and they don't want to go out and talk to an agent, or they trying to get everything right. So the people that have the most success are the ones that just go out and do it. Just go ahead and make that phone call. Understand that you might mess up a few times in the beginning, but they're just going to keep making that phone call and until they get it right. They're gonna learn through failing, but in their whole process of making mistakes, they're still able to make some stuff happen. But so I wanted to talk to my man Leon right here, and just have him to come off mute for a second, and just ask him some questions about some of the stuff that he's been able to do. So Leon, man, can you tell me how long you've been at eXp now?
So I was looking at that. I got here about the middle of August.
Middle of August. Okay.
Middle of August 2021.
Okay. All right.
So this
Great.
past August. Yeah.
How long did it take you to actually come over?
Okay, man, he's gonna hold this against me forever. He's not holding. I know you're not holding it against me, man. But it's funny because it took, and I tell people this, it took me a year. I think it took me a year, probably a year and 3 months to come over.
Right.
Granted, I mean, I think my excuse was I was, I had my own independent brokerage, and I mean, I'm comfortable doing what I'm doing and focusing on the investing side and working with investors and things like that. And I just didn't see it. I saw it and I understood it and I desired it, but I said, man, I got to go do this other deal, So it took me about a year.
Yeah.
A
Okay.
year and
What was the thing that kind of got you to the point where it's like, all right, I'm ready to make that move?
I just woke up.
Because you saw the opportunity the first time.
Oh man, I saw you put me on the phone with Jay, and I saw the opportunity, and I said, "Dang man!" So the money stuck, and I saw what was being earned, and it made sense. I could do it, and I knew I could actually do it. And I just put it on a back burner, and I said, "Okay, I'll consider it." And I didn't think that it really fit me, as I consider myself a non-traditional agent, I guess, So as a non-traditional agent, really dealing with investors and dealing with looking for off-market property and fixing and flipping, rehabbing, things like that, working with contractors, I didn't really felt like it fit me. And I even had one of my agents said, hey, I'm non-traditional. And I had a broker friend that I knew. He said, well, I'm non-traditional. I don't see how this fits me. And I just woke up in the morning. One morning, I think I woke up and I was like, man, shoot, what am I waiting on? I just need to do it, And I went and did it.
So
but you stayed in contact with me though, man. You stayed in contact with me every 3-4 months. I mean, yeah, you would shoot me a text, say, hey, check out the stock. Hey, this is what we're doing. I invite you to this meeting. Check it out, Yeah.
So basically, I kind of stayed in contact with you, and from that, when the time was right, when it made sense, when everything clicked, you came over, obviously. So so you've been here since, what did you say, August? What is that? What's August?
The middle of August, yeah.
Middle of August, okay.
Somewhere around
that time. How many agents have you brought
birthday.
over since then?
So far, I've brought in 5 agents since then, and I've helped 2 of my agents bring in 2 people.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So basically, almost about an agent a month has been coming.
About an agent a month. I was looking at that. So about an agent a month, and the way I noticed is really, I kind of have it where I'll have an agent that'll stagger in the next month that'll come in. So it's been about an agent a month.
Okay.
Yeah.
So an agent a month, in a year, if that stays your trajectory, that's about 12 agents.
About 12 agents, you know.
Yeah.
And if I continue to do at least one agent, help one of my agents every 3 months, 2 months, get someone. Now that's average, of course. I mean, I'm planning to do bigger and more than that, of course, but I think for me, understanding how to program this in my business where I'm at, because I'm in a different place than some people, you know, program it in my business and make it more natural. It made sense. So what I started doing for me was I put together what you were talking about at the beginning of this year, a run rate, a 90-day run rate. I put together a standard run rate for me. So this is something that I do standard now every Friday. So that's at least, I want to make sure that I at least touch at least 7 people every Friday. You say 7 because I'm looking at one person at least per day for the week, you know, and I still count those other days. So my goal is to do that. And if it doesn't hit, then if I don't make that touch, when I say touch, meaning a meaningful conversation, Saturday, I'm actually reaching out to someone. So I shifted that when you did that 90-day run and put it more on a consistent basis. If that made sense. When I first came, I just wrote out a list of every agent that I knew in my phone. And I just wrote it out in this book right here. And I still go by the book too, you know? So when I'm doing that contact, I did that. And I learned that from another business that I was a part of before. So just putting those names down, phone numbers, and just going through it and adding it to KV Core, as I call
them. Yeah. So basically you made your list from the beginning. So, you know, by making that list from the beginning, it makes it a whole lot easier when it's, you know, calling agents, because all you're doing is just looking at a list as opposed to having to think about who I need to call, right?
Yeah, it made sense for me.
Yeah. So, all right. So you got your list. Why do you think that, let me ask you this. What are some of the things you did in the very beginning when you first came on board that kind of get you to the point where you feel comfortable enough to actually start calling agents?
You know, honestly, I don't think I was ever just comfortable enough to start calling agents. Man, when I called, I wrote the list and I looked at the list and I kind of was picking apart the list. I'll start at the bottom and the top. Then I said, oh, I'm going to skip this person. I'm going to call this person. Honestly, I don't think there's anything that you really get comfortable in doing until you actually start doing it, you know? And then even when you do it, you still are going to have butterflies until you actually get into your space of doing it. You know, it was like that when I was calling expires, and it was like that when I was calling for sale by owners. I mean, it was like that even just, you know, personal side. I trained in martial arts for years, and it was like that when I went to tournaments, even in martial arts. And I would joke with my wife, I would know everything. I knew how to fight and how to perform, but dude, I still felt a little funny in my stomach. I just felt like that's just part of the process, you know, and just push that to the side and move on. It becomes a little bit less uncomfortable. The butterflies are a little bit less, I think, the more I get into the rhythm of doing it that day. And as I do it more and more, but it's still there. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
You know?
Thanks for being honest and upfront, Leon, because that's exactly right. I still have butterflies calling big people, even some people that aren't big, but I think that'd be a good fit. I still get butterflies in my stomach to call some of these people. And we have well over 650 plus people in the organization. And the other thing, Leon, is my first year, I only had 13 people on my first level as well. But it took 6 months, I think, before I really I had 3 in 6 months or something. But the last 6 months is when they started coming, because you called them before and they start coming in. So you keep up doing what you're doing, being consistent, man. You're on track to in a few years to be where the rest of James and these other guys are.
Yeah.
Just being
And
consistent.
Andre, you're right, because James, there's a young lady, Tanya. She was someone, I think, James, if you remember, we had a conversation with her, probably my second month here, and she just came over in January. She just came over in January, and I just stayed in contact with her, shot her a text, invited her to our meetings, things like that. Anything that we're having to expose her, I would do that with the concept of actually booking an appointment from an appointment. So anytime I had an appointment, I would book it. And she wasn't even somebody that I did a transaction with. We started the transaction, and I think it fell apart and it didn't work. But I kept her number because I like speaking to her. I mean, she was cool. She was just a cool person, So it's easy to talk to, someone I would like to work with, So I said, hey, it didn't work, but you have an opportunity to talk some more about a business opportunity on the table, And so she said, okay, yeah. What time, what's a good time? I said, yeah, we're working on a project. I want to see if you're interested in it. And I started just with that. And I fumbled just like that. I fumbled even on peaking the interest right there. Honestly, I kept fumbling on doing that. But, I think the more you make up for an activity, if the more activity you do, you make up for in those areas where you're trying to really iron out and get better, and trying to learn to have it stick to you. So I try to do as much activity as possible, So that's why I made that list as an activity list, just to keep me accountable.
And you're not, and it's not failing either. If a call doesn't go good, man, you really messed up on that one. You could have said it this way or that way. You're falling forward. Hey, you made a mistake. You're learning. Think about your very first listing, your second listing. Your first buyer or two that you dealt with. You messed up the contracts. I mean, but after weeks and months and doing dozens of listings, and when you get to multiple dozens of listings and appointments, you get better and better, and you fall forward. That's, if you wait until you've got it down perfect and you understand it and you think you got all the questions answered, half of your people that would be underneath you are going to be under somebody else that's falling forward.
Yeah.
Gina, you got a question?
So right.
It's a two-parter. Leon, what is the longest time between initial phone call and actually getting somebody?
The longest time, I think, would be Tanya, who came over in January.
I have no issues with making the initial call and getting engagement and all that. No issues at all. And I did expireds also. So zero issues with that. It's the nurturing the person. Like, what do you say on the 15th call where I'm just like, just do it already, which is not appropriate. So what's that process?
I'm just inviting, and I just got that from, it just made sense just to invite. So I have this, this mine is, of course, micro level compared to some other guys who have more intricate systems. I just have that Reach app, and I literally I have a group of people that, all right, from this book in that Reach app, they're in my phone. I program them under a list of team prospects. So I invite them. So whenever we get something that week, like we've got John Kitchens on the 11th, right? I'm already inviting them to that John Kitchens event, So to me, that is a touch. I don't have to necessarily get on the phone and, hey, how you doing? Come on. Are you planning on coming now? It's the fact that they see me, and then they may see me they may get a text from me this week, get a text from me the next following week. And people reply, they say, well, man, I'm doing something that day. Or, will it be recorded? Or, I'll try to make it. To me, they see me, I'm in front of them, and then it may be the third or the fourth week, I may give them a buzz and say, hey man, how's everything going with the business? And what I'm learning now and what I'm doing, because I listened to what Gary presented. I've always been, my whole purpose when I got into real estate, I loved investing and being on the investing side. So I had content already from my investing side, just stuff that I had shared. So I started just kind of putting that together in a way that I can provide for people that would be interested in what I'm doing. And now most of those relationships that's in this book, we had some type of interpassing on the investing side as an agent dealing with an investor or so forth. So it kind of revitalized, hey, let's have this conversation. You know, when we spoke, I remember last time when we did that deal, and I remember a lot of my deals off the top of my head, and regardless of how many I've done, something happened in it that made me, some people don't remember. I have that. I remember dates. I remember a lot of different details and stuff like that. That's just me naturally. But I would actually say, hey, remember that deal with Donovan, you know, and I'll name it and she'll say, oh yeah, I remember that person. Like we talked about you growing your real estate investment business. You thought it was impressive what I was doing at the time. Look at what I'm doing now. So it kind of opens the door to do that. So I went back and started building that to offer some additional value for people that are interested in my space. And I think that's what happened yesterday with the call I was having with Lance. I had no idea, and I had no idea that halfway through the call, I had, you know, I think it was halfway through the call. It was at a point where I didn't really talk about myself. I really wanted to know about him more. So when I did talk about myself, he pieced it together. He was looking at the 17-minute call with Kurt and video with Kurt. And he said, hey, you know, man, I just want to come over because of what you're doing. I wanted to do the same thing too. And I said, okay, well, this is the application. He said, all right. And that was it. And I set up a time to follow through with him today. And we started going from there, you know?
Thank you. That was super helpful.
Welcome.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And, you know, one thing that, you know, I think everybody should just kind of, you know, if you've had some success, if you've been in real estate and if you've had some success, I mean, you have a story that you can actually tell and share with other people and help them out. So, you know, when I grew my business, my biggest thing was, you know, making phone calls and booking appointments. So what do I do now? I make phone calls and I book appointments. It just difference is now I'm doing it for agents. You know, Leon has his investment side of it. And you know, so right now he's combining that with, you know, agent attraction. You know, I mean, all of us are technically mentors just simply because, you know, we have been in this industry, we've had some success, we can help somebody else. We just got to use that in order to help them and bring, you know, basically, you know, sharing the opportunity for them to actually come over. So that's great, man. Let me ask, how many trainings do you attend per week?
Man, I try to be on every training. I mean, I may not, you know, I may not have my video camera open, but it's playing and I'm listening to it and I'm probably working and then I'll jump in and jump off. So I try to be on every training. What I say, the only one I'm not as consistent on is the KV Core on Tuesday. I would say that. But then I listen to the KV Core, Mona's YouTube page. And then KV Core has a YouTube page too, you know, directly. So.
Right. Yeah. So consistently, you're on this call Wednesday and also the Thursday production call.
Yeah, because in my opinion, you know, when being a separate broker, I got just being a broker and having my own brokerage, and I know a lot of agents probably experience this. I mean, I'm disconnected. I was disconnected from everybody, you know? So what I was doing at my brokerage, unless I spoke to my other friends at Keller Williams or Remax or wherever else, I wouldn't really know what's going on outside of that, you know, and I read, of course, real estate articles and Inman News and things like that. So I didn't think I really needed the connection, in my opinion. But I think the buy part, I think I came for the money, but I really appreciate more the connection than anything else, or the collaboration, you would say. And I think that's actually more that out trumped the money part for me, even though I'm like, yeah, I see those numbers. I want to hit those numbers and hit those numbers. And it's somewhere probably in the second or third month, I started saying, man, shoot, this is pretty good. I'm gaining something from something, you know? So it helps me to stay consistent in working every week and doing that every week, because I really am plugging in, I'm listening. I may hear Andre say something, I'll hear Dan say something, or it'll be a production call with whoever is speaking at that time. And it keeps me, somebody's going to say something big that's going to make me say, dang, I know I'm not doing enough. I know I'm not running faster and I need to go faster. And what can I do to go faster and things like that. And I may not be able to put every single thing into play right now because we all have different situations, but I know I've already mapped it out and I can roll it into play as I go. If that makes sense, because I heard it here,
Man, that makes a lot of sense, man. I mean, people that show up, it's amazing, the results they start to get. That's one of the things that I did. I went to everything. I just made a decision like, man, I got to learn this. So, I listened to Jay on a consistent basis, Al on a consistent basis. Anytime that I can get on a phone call with somebody and listen in, I was doing that. Just really understanding the lingo of what this thing looks like, and really just understanding it, just in and of itself. Just Andre saying that eXp gives you 12 months to actually, if anything happened to you, they give you 12 months to pass that along to somebody else that you name as a beneficiary. I knew you can pass it on. I didn't know it was 12 months. So now I got something else in my arsenal. And when I'm talking to somebody, to tell them about eXp and why this company is so great. And I would not have gotten that if I wouldn't have been on this particular call here. Next question.
James, also, I also like to make, and I know a lot of people may not know about this, the NAEA live coaching call. Like there's a Facebook live stream, and then there's a Honey Badger. Jay does a question and answer on Facebook also, but it streams to YouTube, and it's live. So it's a good platform, and I've asked questions and gotten questions answered too, So
yeah,
and that's every week.
Man, how many times did we talk on the phone?
Yeah, we talk a lot.
Came on board.
We talked. We talk a lot. I thought I was bothering you too at the beginning. I thought I was bothering you, dude. But it's I guess when you want to help people and you really sincerely want to help people, you'll pick up the phone and help them,
Yeah.
I'm appreciative of that very much.
Yeah. I told you from the beginning, I said, look, man, I would much rather you call me and find out information than for you to be thinking that you're bothering me and not call me when I can be helping you.
That's true.
So that's a big deal. So, and to your credit, and I say that to everybody, and everybody don't call, but to your credit, you call and the results are there from that. We got a question here. It was asking, can you speak a little bit on agent attraction in KV Core? Agent attraction in KV Core, for what I use KV Core for agent attraction, but it's more so just kind of a monitoring thing, so I can have the agents in there, and it's more so just for that alone. The biggest thing that we use is Trello. So we use Trello in agent attraction in order to move people along, because they got the drag and drop thing. You're able to put all your stuff in there. So that's the one I use. That was for Kathy.
Hey, James, is Trello kind of like your system you use for work? Like, for example, you open it up and you start deciding who to call based on Trello straight there, or is that just where you store your contacts?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Like all my notes are in Trello. Andre does the same thing, but all our notes are in Trello. We're able to set up follow-ups in Trello. Like I said, we set up basically little what are they called? I guess categories. I guess I can't think of a better word right now.
Cards or lists? Aren't they lists?
A list or something like that. So one category might be I do a big category of all the agents that I want to call. And I do that because I don't want to think about calling or who I need to call when it's time to call. I just want to call. So I have that first list there. Then the second part of it is it'll be, invited to the Zoom for the appointment, invited to appointment or appointment set rather. And then the next category would be three-way call. And then the next category would be invited to an event. The next category would be, interested, hot. And then the next category would be not interested at all. Next category might be, 30-day follow-up. You know what I'm saying? You can build it out however you want it. And the beauty of it is, like I said, you just, you have your notes there, but inside of there, you're just dragging and dropping the person based upon wherever they fall. And some people are going to be moving forward. Some people are going to be moving backwards. But it gives you a really good idea of the pipeline that you're building, because this thing is pipeline built, just like, if it's a buyer or seller, you're building a pipeline. And, we used to do the same thing with our buyers and sellers. We used to have this big list of people that we were working with, and we just try to find out where they are and try to move them further down to the pipeline to get them obviously to a closing date. And I was always able to tell, based upon how many people and where they were in the pipeline, an estimate amount of what my closings would be. So we're doing the same exact thing where it comes to agent attraction.
Cool.
All right. Anybody else have a question for me or Leon? Man, I appreciate you, Leon, for sharing, man. I know we're putting you out there. So
No, it's cool, man.
anybody else has a question for me or Leon?
Yvonne asked about
the event.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So what I do is I use I got this from James when I saw him with it. It was funny. I wanted it too. So I use Calendly for appointments. So I can send them the link directly, but I also use it in this card contents. I think it is the website. It's a website branded for you, and you can go on there. And I got a lot right now. I'm trying to really organize my thoughts right there. You can take the Calendly link. Card Contents will build a website for you. And it's a really nice, professionally done website. I saw James's and I said, man, I got to have that one. So I wanted to duplicate that. They'll build it and they can take your Calendly link and put it in there. And what's even awesome, better than that, this is they will take your eXp video and they will tie it to that too in there. So it's a video content type of video heavy content type of site, and you get a landing page. It looks like a landing page. It's great for mobile, so they can literally go there, book an appointment to talk to me for 15 minutes, or I can go in there, book that appointment, and it'll show up on my calendar, my Google Calendar, which will go into my iPhone. And so I know who I'm meeting, what time, and what their email and contact information is. And I just completed my eXp YouTube video too. So I just got that done. I got one or two more things I got to edit, but then I will send that over to them so they would actually have that right under where somebody goes to click the button to connect with me.
And how long is your video, Leon?
It started at 44 minutes and then it came down to about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So it did start at 44 minutes. It came to 30 minutes. And I mean, everybody has their approach on it. What I like about this is different. My personality is different. I mean, they may, I'm a guy, so I'm gonna talk. You may hold the attention of a young lady more than I hold the attention. I don't know. So I kind of had to do 45 minutes and edit it down to where I felt it made sense. And I was hitting certain points, and I wasn't doing a lot of like just talking in between stuff that didn't make sense, and waiting. I wanted to get to the next point, get to the next point, get to the next point. So they got something from the video.
And where did you get your bullet points to like really speak from your heart on the why of eXp as a newbie, more of a newbie coming in?
I looked at what other people did. Like I looked at GoGo's video. I listened to her interview with John Kitchens. I looked at Andre's video also. I looked at his interview, Andre's interview. I just looked at a couple different interviews that were out there. I looked at I listened to their why eXp, and I just wrote down things that I felt triggered me too,
Right.
So a combination of that, and just wrote down what triggered me and just went from there.
Thank you for sharing. Look
Yeah,
forward to seeing your video.
Yeah, thanks for that, man. So I'm actually, I just put in here for those that will want that content card, the link in order to register for that. It's like $20 a month. But it has on here, it has all that information that Leon was talking about. So you can actually just kind of click on that link and then just go ahead and register. Then I also put on here, she was asking about the why eXp part of it. So I just did the GoGo Bethke one, so that if you want to actually see what she's saying, and if you want to go ahead and do one of these for yourself, I think it'd be good to do. If you're going to have the content card, it kind of give you an outline, but then also you're able to shoot that same video and post it on social media as well. I think just kind of putting it out there for more people. Just more content. Why eXp? Why eXp? Why eXp? So so you have both of those out there. I just put those in the chat. Any more questions for me or Andre or Leon? Okay, perfect. So all right, so just kind of a reminder. So this Friday at 12 o'clock Eastern time, we're gonna have our Agent Builders Mastermind. And in that mastermind, coming up, it's going to be John Kitchens. John Kitchens is the #1 coach for NAEA. And he's coached thousands of people, helped agents become #1, 2, or 3 in their marketplace. And he's going to be jumping on and just kind of, sharing some stuff that he's been able to do to be successful. It's going to be strictly about production, mostly. And it is critical to actually put this information out to some agents that you either have been talking to or want to talk to, because this is that follow-up part of it. Like, the biggest thing is everybody always asking, like, all right, so what I'm gonna do for follow-up? Well, this is what you do for follow-up. You invite people to events. You put the information out there about the speaker, so it's not about you, and you invite them to this event. And when they go to the event, let the event do the heavy lifting. John is going to do the heavy lifting. John's going to deliver. You just got to get your people there. So that particular link is agentbuildersmastermind.com. We send that out to everybody. Put this in the chat as well. Yeah, but like I said, we send that out to everybody. It's agentbuildersmastermind.com. It's going to be at 12 o'clock. But send those invites. So what I usually do when I'm doing it, I'll send it out on Wednesday, right? And then that invite will go to, I got the reach out the same way that Leon does. I don't know if I told you the reach. I think I told you about the reach out, but I got to reach out. I got all my prospects in there. And then I send this text message to every last one of them using Reach, because I can do it in, matter of minutes using Reach. And I'm gonna invite them to that particular event. And then what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the responses. I don't send them the link or anything. I ask them, if I was to, send it to you, would this be something you'd be interested in? So I'm leveraging the speaker. That's what I'm doing. So I'm talking about everything that speaker is and what it is that they've been able to accomplish. And then I'm gonna, if I was to send you to even, get you an invite to this, is that something that you would like to attend? And I send it out. I do not send the link because I want a response. So as people start to respond, yes, I want the link. No, I want the link. No, I don't want the link. I'm busy, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. The people that actually respond, yes, I have a separate in my notes in my phone, and I have mastermind, 2, what's it's gonna be the 11, 211, want invite. Then I'll list every single one of those people that say yes. And then I'm going to send those people the link. And then I'm going to remind those people the date of the mastermind, that the mastermind is going to happen through text message. And I'm probably going to send them 2. It's going to be one that earlier that morning, and the second one, like, hey, quick reminder, we're about to jump on. So it's going to be 2 text messages that's going to go out. Now, after that particular mastermind, or during the mastermind rather, I'm looking, honestly, I'm looking through all the people that's there to see who actually showed up that said yes. So after the mastermind, the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow back up with those people, asking, first thanking them for jumping on board and asking them, hey, what did you like most, or was that something that that was helpful for you and your business? That's how we're doing the following up. We're following up based upon the events, and we're following up based upon, was this thing helpful? How can I help you? Any questions about that process?
So you're using a reach out an actual app that you're using to reach out to mass text, or?
Yeah, it
Okay.
is. It's through Apple though. I mean, I don't know if Android has something similar. You have to just kind of look that part up, but it's actually through Apple. So if you look at
I think Android just got it too. I think they finally came around.
Android does have one, Dan?
Yeah, I was told recently they did. I didn't double check on it, but I was telling somebody about it, and they said they were looking for it. And I said, oh wait, it was only on Apple. And he goes, no, here it is. I didn't confirm that they found the right thing, but I think they have it now. But what, best $4.99 you can probably spend in real estate messaging a month, $4.99.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but that's the follow-up. So it's the same thing, with the weekly agent production calls. So you do the same thing with those as well. So just following up based upon the events. Now I don't send that reach out to everybody every single week, just because I don't want to bombard them with just a whole lot of just text messages. But I'm really strategic on when and who I send it to and how often. That makes sense. All right, Pascal, you got a question?
Yes, I do. So the last part that you were just talking about, so do you qualify the agents? I'm a little bit behind on my KV core. So I'm trying to, I guess, do it the best way and what kind of matches my style, I guess you can say. So just to go back to what you just said, which I think is very important, obviously on the follow-up, but also before you send him the link, just to clarify, so basically you're picking these agents because you've qualified them in terms of what link you're going to send them. Am I correct? Like what training you're going to send them and what speaker you're going to send them?
Yeah, for the masterminds, because they're once a month, and it's usually somebody that that's been doing really well in the industry. I send them to them anyway, you know, because that's, like I said, it's once a month. I get to leverage that particular speaker. I get to leverage their accomplishments. So I'm sending it to every single body that I can for that particular mastermind. The trainings, like a production call or KV core call or something like that, those I'm just kind of strategically, like, you know, letting them know about that part of it, just so they can, you know, get kind of a window into our group and the benefits of our group. But like I said, I'm not just trying to send it to, you know, every single week. You know, we got it this week, you got another one next week, then another one next week. No. You might get this one this week, and I might pull off for 2 weeks, you know, or something like that. So, you know, and also depending on how hot they are. If somebody's really, really hot, you know, I might crank it up a little bit for that particular person. But if I know somebody's kind of lukewarm or whatever, I'm gonna ease my way into getting them to trust me. Because I mean, that's what this whole thing is about. You know, it's about trust. They got to trust that what you're saying, that, you know, that this company is about, is true. They got to trust that you're going to be able to help them, and they got to trust that you're a person of your word. So I'm going to ease that along with that particular person, because, you know, they're not quite hot right now. So I'm helping that whole process go.
Okay, thanks, man.
All right. All right. Any other questions?
Which is the best calendar to follow for all the mastermind leverage type events?
Yeah. So on Agent Builders, what we do is we do a list every single week on Monday of the trainings, and you know, there are 3 of them that we do. We leverage Mona's KV core training, you know, every Tuesday at 10 o'clock Eastern. You know, this here, you know, we put out there every Wednesday. You know, this is just strictly agent track, so you wouldn't be inviting people to this. But and then also the Thursday production call at 12 o'clock Eastern. So those are the 3, and then the masterminds are generally every second Friday of the month at 12 o'clock. There's other events as well that everybody's having. So those are the ones that are out of town, like the Brent Gold. They'll do some stuff. I think, you know, NAEA, J&M, you know, they're planning on doing some stuff this year, I believe. And you know, of course, eXp Con, and then shareholders meeting. Those are those in-person events that you want to try to get people to come to, and invite them to those as well. There are several reach outs. So the reach apps, there's several reach apps. Dan, did you know anything about several reach apps? I thought it was only one.
No, not unless there's, no, I mean, there's only one that I'm aware of on Apple. It's it's $4.99. It's green. Hang on, let me show it to you. Oops. So let's see. It's the green bottom. Y'all see that? Got the green with the white and the small lowercase r.
Super, that's great. Yeah, I went on the App Store there just to try to find it, and there's about 4 or 5 of them that are called Reach Out. So yeah, that's awesome to have the picture there. Thank you.
Glad to help.
Okay.
I use it 4 days a week, probably. I don't send a ton out, but I do also have all the group organized, and then I have we do a production call on Thursday, so I have production invites. So I have different groups of people that I invite things to, because I don't really want to invite everyone to the same thing. Like I have a high level KW team guy, 2 of them I'm trying to bring over, right? They don't really need to get invited to KV core training. Yeah, that would be a bad invite. They're long-term team nurturers, you know? So I like the ability to put different people in. I wish I could drop and drag them, but if I have to take them out of a production meeting and turn them and send them to something else, then it's just a matter of taking them out and put them back in. But I have tons of groups. I don't know, probably 15 different little groups in here.
All right, guys. Anybody else have any questions? Levi just put the app in there, by the way. He just put the, appreciate that, Levi. That's the link to the app. Anybody else have any questions though? All right. Well, man, this has been awesome. Hey guys, let's go ahead and kill it this week. Like I said, once again, you know, Thursday, production call, 12 o'clock. Friday, mastermind, John Kitchens, 12 o'clock on Zoom. Agent Builders, mastermind.com for that one. So let's go ahead and you know, get those invites out, reach out to those people, and let's go ahead and make this the best freaking year. I mean, we're in February and, you know, things are happening, agents are making decisions. Like, let's get in front of this thing and let's just grow this group and make it huge. So appreciate everybody. And I'll hopefully see y'all tomorrow and, you know, definitely Friday as well.
Thanks, you
All
guys.
right, thanks.